Alrighty, y'all, what's good? Right now, what I'm about to do is react to the second part of the history of competitive Super Smash Flash 2 Flash of the Past documentary. I think this documentary should be renamed the Flash of the Past or the Flash of the Past documentary colon history of competitive Super Smash Flash 2. I'm not trying to dump or be negative. I'm just trying to give and provide insight and feedback. I didn't say that in the first video, but let me be clear about that. These reactions are just for me to provide insight and feedback in what was going on in the SSF2 community at the times that they're talking about that I was there for, and just general feedback on these videos and different things like that. So like I said, go on, head over to my Twitch, go follow, so next time I do something like this, you'll be alerted and notified. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and let's hop into this reaction. The transition worked this time, and it looks so fire. Like, nah. Also, this video is time stamped wrong. Like, after I watch everything, I'm gonna go in the comments and like put the correct timestamps and like let Bowler know or whatever. But yeah,
of competitive Smash Flash. This tournament and other footage from competitive players were the catalysts that would shape the very game itself. In fact, at this point, the developers took note of this competitive interest.
I seen it on my preview, and yo, that transition work, yo, woo! I don't know what it is, but when I stopped my recording and restarted it, that transition go nasty. Cause before it, wait, hold on, I gotta do it one more time. Cause like the other one, like no matter what I would do, it'll be straight lagging on my computer. This one, since I simplified like the graphics and all that, it runs so smoothly. Oh wait, I did it wrong. Woo! That shit runs smooth. All right, that's me nerding out. Back to the video.
It would begin to make changes to promote that interest.
Over time, just through seeing these videos pop up and seeing that there
Bro, what the fuck is that?
was a possibility there.
Bro, what is that? I know this man ain't got a goddamn kunai tied to his ear. No!
For potential.
My question is, like, they said developer. I think it would have helped if you put like how long he's been a developer, like developer since 2014 or developer since 0.7. I think that would have helped a lot, because like it's not saying like if you joined in late that your insight could be invalid, but I think just for historical purposes, like a nigga watching this 10 years down the line, even me watching this right now, may not know where some of these people came in and how far along they were in this development. So I think you could have added that.
Competitive. I started having conversations with Cloud9 where I was like, hey, why don't we try this? Let's try bumping up the hit stun. Let's try bumping up the hit lag.
And with a little bit of luck,
because this game used to have brawl levels of hit stun. Over time they upped it, and it's not melee levels. I'll say it's like Smash 4 levels of hit stun. Cause like over time, cause like as each Smash game released, they started adopting like certain key fundamental things from each of their each game set of games. Like for example, they adopted like the speed of the game and the style of the menus and stuff like that from Melee. Like the general art style, they adopted a lot of parts of that from Melee, and like even the speed of the gameplay and stuff like that, they did it from Melee, but they balanced it by sprinkling what they tried to do in Brawl in there little by little. Like for example, they didn't want the game to be so goddamn sweaty that you fucking your hands up trying to play the game, so they didn't add directional air dodging so that you couldn't wave dash consistently. Because there are pseudo wave dashes, but those are very, very character specific and very situational at that. So they're not honestly, most of them aren't that practical, and 99% of 99.999999999 shit. Okay, shout out all my Juice WRLD fans, but 99.9999999% of the time, like it's not that effective. So like certain things like that, like I like how they sprint, because to me around like the 1.1, the early ones, like 1.1 to early 1.2, like around then, SSF2 to me felt like what I wanted out of a Smash game. It had that perfect blend of what I like from Brawl to what I like in Melee. Like it makes a game that was, if this makes sense, competitively accessible. So that means at the highest tippy top of level, there was a lot of stuff for you to discover, look at, innovate, a lot of skills for you to hone and master, characters to learn to get frame perfect frame traps and stuff like that with. But on the other hand, it also sprinkled in the things about Brawl that made it so the game was highly competitive, but it wasn't like to the point to where it's like if you don't have 100 hours worth of mechanical skill as your basics, you can't play this game. So they made it to where any old nigga walking up and down the street could pick up this game and play it, but you can become like Mewtwo King, Hungry Box levels of good at the game. It's possible. It doesn't have that ceiling that most accessible games have. Like to me, in my personal opinion, out of every game I played, this is the most accessible fighting game I've played until post 1.2. But that's a whole different story.
This renaissance of the Super Smash Bros. 2 community.
Right now, I'd say the most accessible fighting game is Tough Love Arena, but before that, I'd say SSF2. Even despite the fact that it's a platform fighter,
Was occurring at the same
like this game, you can legit learn and get a good sense of fundamentals.
With a little bit of luck, this renaissance of the Super Smash Bros. 2 community was occurring at the same time as the resurrection of Super Smash Bros. Melee's competitive scene. This was a major influence on the next few builds of Super Smash Bros. 0.8A and 0.9A.
This is around when I started playing it. Like I was like I said in the beginning, until like 1.1, I was just off and on playing it. Like when they first switched that menu and I had to relearn where everybody was at, that's around when I started playing like the game for real. Like not saying competitively playing the game for real, but when I started playing the game more. And also this little background drop shadow thing is clean. I would have softened the shadows a little bit more, but it's still clean. It's still clean. That's just me being nitpicky.
However,
because me personally, I like soft shadows. Damn. That is a relic. That is a relic. They removed him for them capital comments last year.
if the game wanted to reach its full potential, it would need to grow even more. But it had a sort of roadblock. Due
That it still hasn't gotten over, sadly.
to limited availability of players locally, the game didn't really have that competitive scene that Melee had. This was a challenge for the community. This sort of invisible force stopping the game from being great.
I'm not gonna lie, this community is heavily carried by things like Discord, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I'm just saying let's acknowledge, like, yo, nigga, McLeo, that nigga should be bowing down to Discord right now because, yo, like, if it wasn't for Discord, I promise you after middle school, I would have stopped playing this game. Because, like, even though the SSF2 mods Discord got taken down and stuff like that, like, all the other SSF2 fan Discords and stuff like that, like, there's enough of a non-main, I don't know what term to use, but there are a plethora of servers that aren't the main SSF2 server. It isn't like the SSF2 server, nobody else. It's like the SSF2 server, then it was like the mod servers and other stuff like that, which some of them are even still around. And there are even some newer ones and some newer modders that are in servers, have servers, make servers, that like are helping keep the game alive. Because me personally, the only thing that kept me playing SSF2, even like right now, are the mods. Because I'm going to be honest, vanilla SSF2 is boring in a motherfucker to me. Me personally. Because I feel like they've been, like, with the updates, they started adding too many mechanics and doing too fucking much. I feel like, me personally, I feel like if you want to add mechanics to a game, just go on to the next one.
And the developers got
the
to
nature of this game, I can give it a pass because it's basically a fan game that will never leave beta for certain reasons I'm not going to go too deep into. So I get it. I can cut you a lot of slack from that. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, don't release a game and then change the mechanics of the game after you release it. That turns people off because people will learn the game especially for a game like this that's heavily focused on like fighting games and stuff like that. That's heavily focused on being a very competitive game, a very 1v1 versus game. It's not cool to add mechanics late in the lifestyle because then you force niggas to relearn the game, and after I spend 100, 200 hours playing a game, to have to relearn all 100 of those hours over just because you up the hit stun or something like that, that's not cool. Like I said, this is a very, very strong exception because of reasons, but generally speaking.
Work. And in 2014, they would break the barrier.
Oh, yes, sir. The mods went crazy on that. Oh, Meta Knight's float. Because, like, the mods I'll be playing have either, like, current Meta Knight or, like, just 1 point plus Meta Knight, or they took out the glide. So, yo, yeah. Meta Knight used to have a glide on his up B, but they restricted it to the point where it was fair, and I don't know why they even changed it. Because, like, the way they restricted his glide, it was legitimately fair. And they took the glide away
Super
from Sora
Smash Flash 2 version 0.
Well, they changed his up B. Because, like, the amount of times they resprited Sora, like, you know how League of Legends has that better nerf Aurelia meme? That's how SSF2 treats Sora. They're like, better resprite Sora. Like, every update, these niggas just looking at they watch scratching themselves, and like everybody else in the dev office is looking at like McLeo, probably like, yo, McLeo, why you scratching myself? We haven't resprited Sora in a long time. Everybody in the office, oh my god, bro, how many times we been over this? The character is fine. The character is fine. Stop listening to Sherwood. But what if everybody's no, don't you fucking say it. We're respriting Sora. Then everybody, I can see everybody in a McLeod office like, oh my god, bro, we gotta resprite this nigga again. You're like, if I was them, I would be tired of respriting this nigga Sora, because this nigga has legitimately had at least 5 resprites. And for those of you who don't know, in SSF2, respriting a character is basically they remake all of their sprites and redo all of their moves over from scratch. So the character gets a whole new art style look. They get new colors. They get new moves sometimes. All that different stuff. So just for future reference, that's what it means to resprite a character in SSF2. Basically to remake the character from the ground up.
0.9b. On the surface, just a run-of-the-mill Super Smash Flash update.
That's my Smash Flash. Meta Knight was at the bottom of the screen. I remember. Nope. This is my Smash Flash. Meta Knight is over there. This is like 1 point. This is like late 1.1.
Surface, just a run-of-the-mill.
It's like after they got to 1.1, like they just hotfixed and glitch fixed it, and then so much that they ended up like patching a lot of stuff to the point where it's like the 1 to 1.1 era. I mean 1.1 or 1.2 era was just so goddamn long.
Super Smash Flash update. New characters, new stages, and even a new UI.
Oh, yes,
but
sir.
in reality, this build was the most influential event in the game's entire history.
And that's the most modded one to this day.
The feature that changed Flash 2 forever.
That is a fact. I thought they added that in A. I could be tripping. I could be. Because I never really played online like that unless it was in school.
The launch of online definitely was.
Oh, that's those. Bitch, I'm dead. How's your grandmama dead? What is her power level in the ground? Nah, but one thing I've always wanted added to SSF2 is fucking quick play. Please. Like, the lobby system is cool, but I feel like no game has a good online mode. Like, to me personally, I don't care how lag free your online multiplayer is. If you don't have a quick, some sort of quick play, shit's garbage. That's just my personal
So
opinion.
many people downloaded the game.
I'd rather a quick play that doesn't work with a private lobby system that works than no quick play system, honestly.
That day.
9B being online was like the craziest thing in the world, man. I still am like baffled how they got online working.
What? You can play online? I never did this before.
I remember everyone.
They got online working.
What? You can play online? I never did this before.
I am like baffled how they got online working.
What? You can play online? I never did this before.
What the fuck? Why did he say it like that? Is that his natural? That can't be his natural voice.
I am like baffled how
I see
they
a
got
lot of
online
top
working.
players with that goddamn Meta Knight symbol
You can
next to
play
him.
online? I never did this before.
I remember everyone was really bad.
Ew,
Yeah, the
Ichigo.
players were not
community
good.
member. I was about to say, ain't no fucking way you a top player playing.
Like we weren't entirely sure if it was gonna break, and it did.
Online mode opened the
Online sucked until 1.1, honestly.
floodgates of opportunity. Super Smash Bros. 2 finally had its chance. What lied beyond the barrier for Flash 2 was the foundational pillars for a competitive scene. The redevelopments to the game only possible due to the newly added online mode. First was the growth of content. The game blew up massively in popularity.
Oh yeah, because it might be on this video. Cause see, like SSF2 has a category on YouTube. They used to have one on Twitch, but you know who went over there and said, "Yeah, Twitch, you gonna have to snip, you know, treat that like project pro. If you know, you know. What B Love say? Now I gotta do it. If you know, you know. Hold on. If you know, you freaking know. I need to clear my throat. But like that used to be listed on YouTube, but they made Twitch scrape it off because of like, you know.
This was many people's first time ever hearing about Super Smash Bros.
Also, please change Samus's up B, please and thank you.
Hearing
Because you niggas like listening to YouTubers, which isn't a bad thing. So since I'm a YouTuber, please change your fucking up B. It sucks ass and has always sucked ass. Please make it good and just change it, resprite her completely, please.
that it finally had an online mode. This drew in a lot of new players, specifically a lot of YouTubers and streamers who started playing the game, such as HungryBox.
Up to rest confirmed.
Oh, HBox was playing SSF2 early?
Alpharad.
Okay, well, I just now.
Oh yeah, I remember Alpharad was playing it. Zero, I don't think he's gonna mention Zero, but Zero the legit didn't stop playing this game till 2020, and that brought a lot of traction to this game because a lot of people who played Smash Flash like just freaking forgot about it, and they look at it like that game in a computer lab. Yeah, it's not up anymore, but I gotta put it back up. But it's the cover of that song, and it's a really old song. And even when I made the song and I showed people the cover art, like everybody immediately knew, like, hold on a minute. Like, it was pretty fun. But point is, most people look at this game, even to this day, still as the game they played in a computer lab or computer Smash Flash. Wiggity, 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 wiggity. Shout out to Future. That nigga ruined a whole generation of music. But back to the topic. This is mostly looked at as either computer Smash Bros, which is ironically the opposite of what I looked at it as. It's either looked at as computer Smash Bros or the computer lab game. Like, nobody looks at this as a serious game because it's not like on consoles or anything like that. And like I said, even though like some people may not want to mention his name, like I don't like, bro, that's another topic. I'm just talking about the history. He played it and that brought a lot of people to it. Like, the game was very dry and stuff like that, but then they also did the online improvement, and combined with him doing his videos when he did that, which was in the midst of quarantine, that brought a lot of people to the game. Like, that really helped the game a lot.
The game has been amazing and critical.
Who were all in support of the game and increased its popularity. And it was
This game has been amazing.
Oh,
and
rest in peace,
who were
bro.
all in support of the game and increased its popularity. And it wasn't just big names. We began to see some Super Smash Bros. 2 specific creators rise around this time, such as
I don't know
streamers
who
like
those are.
Soldier Sunday,
I am Zachary Jonathan Pinturf, also known as Soldier Sunday.
Back then, I watched a lot of Soldier Sunday. Shout out to him.
and Ninja Lobster Studios, who were innovating the competitive SSF2
Down Smash Wisdom?
content creation. Combine this with the all-time high that was competitive Smash around this time, With the recent release of the Super Smash Bros. Melee documentary, as well as the release of Smash 4 coming out later this year, interest in competitive SSF2 was at an all-time high, and the player base grew massively. And with the new player base, leads to the second all-time high.
Look at this degenerate. Look at this degenerate. Oh wait, you can't see it because of my face. Look at this freaking degenerate. Nasty, disgusting. Let me cover that back.
And the player base grew massively. And with the new player base, leads to the second pillar, the new community. The community changed a lot when 9B released. Due to the rapid growth of the community, a lot of new group chats started forming. The Super Smash Flash 2 subreddit, the Facebook group chats, and even Skype calls for players to group together and play matches with one another. The largest, of course, was still the McLeod Gaming forums. However, it wasn't the best for setting up matches with other competitive players, since it was primarily used by the casual community. After all, it was still a Flash game. This led some forum users to try and make a more serious, united competitive chat room, outside of the McLeod.
Oh, I thought that was like a competitive rule set. Nobody cares.
Gaming forums. The IRC, Internet Relay Chat Room. This was the most bare-bones 2014 chat room experience you could get. However, for a grassroots community like this, it was all we needed.
Skype was alright, but in the early days it was IRC that took off.
And then from the forums, I heard about this chat called the IRC. It had like 20 people that are like active there.
Unfortunately, most chat logs from the IRC were never archived. However, the chat room was serving as the most active community for setting up matches. Essentially Discord before Discord ever existed. And from 2014-2015, this was...
Hold on, because he said this takes place in 2013, correct? Alright. Because I remember Discord being around way longer than that, but I could
the place to be if you're a competitive player. And also...
You know what? I'm thinking about TeamSpeak. That's what it was. Nope, I'm
to
buzzing.
play in tournaments. This was the third pillar of competitive Smash Flash, tournaments. With all of these players in one place, online tournaments started to sprout up. Starting out, they typically had around 12 to 15 players, no cash prize, and varying rule sets with changing stock counts and stage slots between each. However, the question still stood. Who was the best player? It was a fairly chaotic time.
I know that currently, I don't know if it's still true, but I know in 2020 to 2021, I don't remember his name, but I remember the top SSF2 player during that period was legitimately a Donkey Kong main. And I remember he won a tournament, and on Twitter, that man was shitting. He was like, yo, y'all let a Donkey Kong main be the best player? Crazy time we live in. Because I remember the Tails Revolution, bro, that's probably going to be in chapter 2 somewhere, because that was around 1.1. But nigga, people used to do nothing but cry about Tails. Now they beat Tails with the Nerf hammer to death. They just took the Nerf hammer, said mink 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 and beat him into the ground. Because I remember people used to do nothing but complain about Tails. Oh my god, he's broken. Side B, side B, side B. Excuse me. And don't even get me started on when they first gave him the And I'm talking about 9B Tails, when he had the side B that just did the chop thing, and you could basically infinite people into the blast zone without using a single jump and still have 5 double jumps. I'm talking about. Then when they changed his up B to be the robot, when they resprited him and they made his side B the grab, oh my god, it got worse. People was like, oh my god, you made the character even better. Then they just, like I said, beat him with the Nerf hammer to death after 1.2 happened. Because 1.1, all those updates, Tails, if he was nerfed, because I wasn't keeping up with patches like that, if he was nerfed, it wasn't enough to actually do away with him. But once 1.2 came out, every update that came out since then that I've read, beating him with the Nerf hammer.
Some names stood out at the start as better than others. No one particular player could be considered the best. It was an early period where anyone could beat everyone. There was no true best player. And with so many players competing, it was only a matter of time until someone would show up. Someone would take the throne. And 2 months after the game came out, someone showed up.
I was about to say if his name was someone, and if he's a Tails player, it don't count.
But
It don't.
who was Kios? Well, he was a Zero Suit Samus player from the tri-state area.
Hey, yo, SSF2 has a lot more black people in the community than I may have realized. So like, hold on.
Coming from a background of playing Super Smash
Telling me the first recorded top player at SSF2 is a black man. Ooh, and I don't know if y'all noticed, but oh wait, I gotta on full screen. This video is being recorded on February 1st, so that's some good news to record. Like, this the right month for me to be watching this. Black people is winning this whole documentary. Like,
Smash Bros. Brawl at a competitive level for many years. Only trying out Super Crown of playing Super Smash, he was a Zero Suit Samus player from the tri-state area. Coming from a background of playing Super Smash Bros.
Didn't ZSS used to suck?
Brawl at a competitive level for many years. Only trying out Super Smash Flash 2 starting in October of 2014. In terms of the community though, he was a nobody. However, that would soon change. October 18th, Kios would enter Smash Island 6, the 6th installment of the most popular tournament series, Smash Island. With a total of 27.
But bro, you didn't have to explain that. Like, one thing I've learned with like producing content is something like that. Like, bro, you didn't have to explain
October
that. Like, I get it. When you deal with the public, you have to assume everybody is stupid, but there's a certain level of common sense you just assume niggas have, and if they don't have it, that's a them problem.
Kios would enter Smash Island.
Like, this part.
Island 6, the 6th installment of the most popular tournament series, Smash Island.
You didn't have to add that. You could have added he joined the 6th installment of the most popular Smash Flash, Super Smash Flash 2 tournament series at the time, Smash Island 6. Like, that was a little shoddy, because that's just a random first off the go. I can't think with my headphones on. That's just a first off the head take. But bro, the way that was worded, that was poorly worded, my guy. And like I said, this is all in good fun and good light. I am critiquing this video. I'm not trying to dump on this video. I don't want these videos to be seen as negative. I'm not dumping on the video because it is hard to make some content like this, but nobody grows if nobody critiques. Cool. Okay, back to dumping on it. But no, real talk. Yeah, you didn't. Like, I feel like right there, you just insulted a nigga's intelligence. Like, you didn't have to do that, bro. You legitimately didn't have to do that. You could have worded that way better. But it was something else I was gonna say too.
Island 6, the 6th installment of the most popular tournament series. Kios would enter Smash Island 6, the 6th installment of the most popular tournament series, Smash Island. With a total of 27 entrants, which at the time was a massive amount, Kios was seeded as 16th, which would match him against the #1 player in the tournament as his very first competitive match. And let's just say, it didn't go as expected.
Did you go see? Oh. Which Nair is this? If this is, yeah, that's close Nair. Okay, no. Close Nair is ESS. Oh my goodness. Alright, yeah, she sucked. She's a dog shit character. But, Circle Nair is ESS, fantastic character, not gonna lie. Oh, damn. Come on, that was hard. Ooh. That damn. Yo, that landing fair into back air, is that true? You know what? It might be just only true on Peach. Because that don't look like it should be true. Peach is a floaty and she takes more hits on it. So it might be that.
Defeating the #1 seed of the tournament, Kios did the impossible in his very first competitive match. An impressive feat by itself, but unfortunately, he was knocked into loser's bracket right after that by Link player Marvin, another contender for the throne.
And then he had a easy
However, in a double elimination tournament, Kios was sent to the loser's bracket, meaning he could still qualify to win the tournament. And after defeating 5 different opponents in the loser's side, Kios clawed his way back to a solid 2nd place finish, once again being defeated by Marvin. 2nd place at your very first
How you get your cheeks beat down by the same person in the same tournament? That's kind of crazy.
Tournament is an incredible feat.
I'm not gonna lie, me and Marvin would have had to run the ones because my nigga, what? How you beat me twice in the same tournament, bro? We need to go outside. I could fight better than you in real life, though. That's where that shit starting to come out.
So, Kios is actually how he pronounces it. He kind of just started winning.
Sorry, Kyos. Because that sounds more like a nigga named Kyos.
Out of nowhere.
And 1 week later, the Super Smash Flash 2 subreddit hosted the largest
Also, nobody can call me the N-word unless it ends with a GA to the end of the month.
tournament the game had ever seen. In attendance was Soldier Sunday and Marvin. And first up for Kios was the streamer Soldier Sunday.
I thought he was a decent to good player at the time.
Oh, that's when Marth was freaking fantastic, bro. Another thing that like turned me off to SSF2 a lot is like ever since they came from 1.0 to 1.1, they've just been beating Marth with that nerf hammer too. Like a lot of the characters that I used to a lot of the characters that I loved played in main, like all of them just got beat with the nerf hammer to death. Like I don't like how they just beat so many people to the nerf hammer. Cause like in my opinion, Meta Knight wasn't even that bad. Like he was just an okay character. He wasn't even that dominant. But again, like I said, they just beat him with the nerf hammer to death to the point to where it's like, why even? I want to know if these are real replays or even. That and another thing about SSF2 is I don't know how to explain this in any better terms, so brace your ears. Unless you understood SSF2 like a real fucking nerd, none of this shit seemed hype. Because like the reason why like Ultimate, for example, or like Street Fighter or something seems hype is because they have a lot of things that they do that makes the game feel more cinematic. And that's really just due to the fact that they're using 3D. Like the way that they make the game cinematic is astronomically harder to do with sprites and stuff like that. Like it's really hard to do cinematic shots and stuff like that with sprites. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This game just didn't look hype. That's part of the reason why I think the competitive community never took off in the way that, for example, Melee did. Because Melee started off in the same way, very grassroots and stuff like that. And really, they were carried by the fact that it was on a Nintendo console. But had it not been on a Nintendo console, I still think it would have did fine and done well. Because of how well put together, well... I'm just speaking from the point of view of just a general point of view, like outside my own look, just how like well put together the game like seems and feels and stuff like that. Like it would have still built, I feel like, enough of a community to be able to do what it did, and the community behind it was so strong also because of the Nintendo thing, let's be real. And this, I feel like, only has the community it does is because it's partially because it's on PC. So like many people like me grew up playing in computer labs and stuff like that, and that really helped out a lot. Cause had Nintendo put their games on PC, like Brawl on PC officially, this game never had a chance. If people would have just went, why not just play Real Smash instead of this low quality version? Cause when this game started really getting popular competitively is around when like people my age started seeing games with pixels and going, ew, what is that? Except for like the nerds like me who like retro gaming and stuff like that, everybody else would see a game like this and be like, ew, what is that?
Kios managed to not only defeat Soldier Sunday in his second match of the tournament, but he managed to make his way all the way to Grand Finals, where he faced Marvin once again.
I bet you he whooped Marvin in his cheeks. And now that I think about it, wait, that stage was legal? I just thought about it. That That's Castle Siege is legal. I know it's not. There's no way the stage is still legal today, but did it not transform? Because like if there were no transformations, that's somewhat understandable because there were a small amount of stages in this game. So to limit the stage list heavily would be crazy. But still, I couldn't imagine that with this funky ass slant that this stage was that fair. But we proceed. That move is so hot garbage. Oh, that could kill?
Defeating Marvin in Grand Finals 6-0 in the largest...
He must have been at an extremely high percent because in vanilla SSF2 9B, I don't remember that ever being or having the ability to kill.
...tournament ever. This win, only 1 week into his career, put Kios on top of the world. And he wasn't just a one-hit wonder. He would continue to win multiple other weekly tournaments throughout October, November, and December. In fact, he won 7
It's Kyo's
of his first 10 FCR tournaments, placing second at the remaining 3. He was the name of the competitive community, with some criticism from others.
I think Kios was definitely one of those players that you would consider, he would be the definition of play to win. You may not like what he does, but at the end of the day, he's winning.
He was kind of the first player to get real good.
So is he a Chudat level? Is he a Chudat or is he a Hungry Box? Because Chudat, that nigga was a degenerate. Hungry Box, he just found a way to play the game in a way that nobody else could. So that's like a really big question I have. Like when you say play to win, do you mean Chudat or do you mean Hungry Box? Because those are two different things.
During that time, he was basically unstoppable.
It was around this time that Zero Suit Samus began to be ranked higher amongst community-made tier lists.
I don't know how. That character fucking sucked. Who is that in 6? Oh, Naruto? True. Who is that in 7? Oh, that's Fox. Because the picture's so low res, my brain was struggling. Don't tell me. Oh, alright. It's in 1080p. Woo! That didn't help that much, but it did something.
It kind of was the reason that people were saying Zero Suit Samus was the best in 9B.
But it wasn't just ZSS that rose in the ranks. Let's talk FCR, Flash Collective Ranking. This was a ranking system created using a database of Flash 2 tournaments. It was used to calculate a ranking of the best players in the world, and included its own class system that goes as follows. Peasants, a title given to any player who entered an FCR tournament, regardless of their results. Knights, players who place within the top 3 of at least one FCR qualified tournament. Kings, these were the few players who actually managed to win a major tournament.
Yo, why they did my
King,
boy,
players who place within the
boy Soldier
top
Sunday
3
like
of at
that?
least one FCR qualified
First they're
tournament.
calling him a community
Kings.
member instead of like a competitive player, a top player. Then they calling him a knight. Like, yo, I feel bad for Soldier Sunday. Like, they just taking a dump on my man's name. Like, I don't even know him.
These were the few
I still want to stick up for him because they just took a dump on that boy name. Like,
players who actually managed to win a major tournament. And lastly was a role only occupied by Kios. Gods, players who showed dominance over all others. This was the order after the chaos, the new hierarchy of SSF2. And Kios, for 2014, ruled it all. December 27th, the last major tournament of the year, X1. In attendance was Kios, the favorite to win the whole event. However, this was no ordinary tournament. This was the debut of a new competitor, a challenger to Kios' reign.
that name sounds familiar.
Lunary would enter his very first Super Smash Flash 2 tournament.
My name is Ali, and my tag is Lunary. I live in Belgium, so like back in.
That's what it is. He's not because like when I heard his accent, I was like, yo, his accent don't sound American. He's probably a ESL person, which for those of you who don't know, anybody who's an ESL person means English as their second language, and it applies to whatever language. So ESL, they could be SSL, Spanish as a second language, FSL, French as a second language, him specifically, he might be ESL. That's why it sounds awkward when he's speaking English.
09B, I mean Meta Knight, and Lloyd was my secondary.
Lunary was the
The fuck? Why would you secondary Lloyd? That nigga was ass.
antithesis of Kios, a Meta Knight and Lloyd dual main from Belgium, coming from a background of playing Super Smash Bros. Melee competitively. And much like
Sounds
many
about
of the
right.
greats, he found almost immediate success, outperforming his seeded position by winning his first 2 sets. Lunary was set to face Kios for their very first time.
Kyos! I still find it crazy that the nigga, somebody, god damn, I keep choking on my slap. Somebody literally told you how to pronounce his name properly and you still saying it wrong. That kind of irks me. And are these real vibes of recreation? It's like, you know what? I wouldn't doubt that the streams look this wild because even to this day, like, there's not a very high production value in this stuff. Oh, that! I remember that used to be stupid. I remember a lot of people used to complain about that. You can still do it in the game, it's just way harder and different, and to the point to where it's impractical now. But so many people used to complain about that because it just gave you so much rain to go off stage, back air, and then you could just recover back to the stage for free. Because in SSF2, she's the only one who has a tether recovery, so it's just really good. Because like in this game, everything is sprite based, so you can't do anything where like you have an animation where they're hanging off unless they can hang off at a fixed distance, making it so that the range she was able to stay was very good, because as long as you're within that range, you'll always hit it and you'll always hang the same way, which makes it more predictable for edge guarding, but you get the point. She's the only one. Like, one thing that's true for anything competitive, when you have an ability that nobody else has, whether it's good or bad, whether it seems good or seems bad, it's good because nobody else has that. So if you use that to your advantage and become, fantastic with that, you'll by default beat certain people that'll just have no tools or are incapable of beating that certain said strategy, as long as it isn't unfair. And even like I said, if it does get nerfed, you're still unique and you still have that one thing to where it's like, yo, they're the only person with this, so we either got to figure out how to beat this or try and copy it, but we can't because we don't have those tools. So our only option is to learn to deal with it. And that can be a very powerful thing, because there's a lot of options you have with that I'm not going to go into. But that tether recovery, there was some pretty dumb things you could do with it competitively.
Kios defeated Lunary 2-1 in their very first set. However, Lunary, a nobody at the time, taking a game off of Kios was an impressive feat. In fact, he would finish 3rd in the tournament overall, only having lost to the 2nd and 1st place players. Not only did this tournament show off a new up-and-coming challenger being Lunary, but it was also one of the few tournaments Kios did not end up winning, taking 2nd place against French Samus player Sekino.
Because Sekino beat Chaos in set 1, and then like Chaos just rage quit it. So
this was the first crack in Kios' dominance. 1 month later at Smash Island, 2 players would meet in a rematch.
That shit was
but this time, things were a little more interesting.
Whatever, I'll leave it right there. If that's not good enough, oh well, nigga. Woo! That ledge hog went crazy. Yeah, that's what I meant by you could do a lot of dumb stuff with that. Like that move, oh my god. Just, she literally back aired the nigga and then grabbed the ledge and he wasn't able to do anything. And then Lloyd's recovery sucks ass. Always has been, and probably always will. Nope, not this one. Back throw. either back throw or back air or something like that. What the flip?
And with that, Lunary had defeated Kios. And with the momentum of such a big win over Kios, he managed to win the entire event in the
Y'all saw
winner's
what I
bracket,
saw.
securing
know
his
what
first
happened to
ever
it.
major tournament
I
win.
could have just missed it. 'Cause
On
my
the other
head
hand, Kios opted to drop out of the tournament in loser's side, shortly after his loss to Lunary. Lunary was in the spotlight of the community.
He just entered a tournament and got like, I think top 3 right off the bat. And I remember just being like, who is this?
If we randomly would match up, I'd be like kind of excited, but then also like terrified.
This was the start of the rivalry between Kios and Lunary, meeting one another at every major tournament in the first quarter of 2015.
So yeah, so like back then, like Kaios was my biggest rival by far. He was the only player who took like more than one set against me.
The two went back and forth, trading
Look at
sets.
how blue his
Kios
eyes
bounced
are.
back.
More than one set.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Yo, cut off Zoom and go take a nap, cause that's not okay, bro. Put some tea bags in your eyes. Put some cucumbers on your eyes, bro. It look like you need some sleep.
Two went back and forth, trading sets. Kios bounced back by winning X2 over Lunary, but 1 month later, Lunary would defeat Kios at X3. And at the time, the record between the two was extremely close. But over time,
Extremely close. Nigga, that's that 7-4. How is that close? Somebody getting their cheeks dusted off. Talking about clothes.
Rivalry became more than
close
just
to
a game.
death.
As far as Kaios goes, in relation to Lunary, they didn't like each other at all.
The problem stemmed from like Kios would just get really mad, really salty when he lost. He would just try to discredit Lunary, and then the beef just grew from there.
I thought he was kind of a dick. At least to me, he was like a little toxic, and he was also like a sore loser. Like he was so salty when he.
Did he say that he made it toxic?
He was also like a sore loser. Like he was so salty.
And to think, Gax, you can't stay brain dead.
Whenever he lost.
There was a split in the community, whether you were a Kaios fan or a Lunary fan.
At the peak of this rivalry,
Whoever was playing more, yo, this got my head looking crazy, but my head hurt, boy. Boy, I got my headphones too loud. I don't care, bro. Bro, I'm looking like somebody auntie. The badass auntie with dress you got that I be clapping. Yeah.
Rivalry in 2015 between Lunary and Kios, neck and neck in sets. A crew battle was proposed to settle the beef once and for all.
Like we talk a lot of shit, like a lot of trash, like so much trash. And then like at some point we're like, you know what? Screw it. You have to sleep. You have to settle this.
The US versus EU crew battle.
Oh, yeah,
The 8
US.
best US players with Kios as their frontrunner versus the 8 best EU players with Lunary as their ace.
Damn, she was 30-30? God, I know that took forever, boy. I know that took forever. 30-30? That's crazy.
The crew battle was extraordinarily close, and as the stocks for both teams kept going down, eventually we had the match everyone was waiting for.
It was America.
Kios versus Lunary. This time, both players representing their whole region.
A bear, death. Wait, you could up B up? You could up air again after that? I thought that was that up B itself was death. What was that word over there just now? Oh, that was just a okay. I'll never do that face again because I just felt.
Despite the odds, Lunary had done it, defeating Kios for all of Europe. The crew battle would continue on, eventually leading to an EU victory by 3 stocks. Europe as a region was stronger than ever, and their best player, Lunary, the best in the world. And whether by coincidence or not, after that crew battle, Lunary went on a rampage, winning almost every tournament he entered in April, May, and June. Not only defeating Kios in almost every set they played, but Lunary was beating everyone.
Hold on, y'all. Give me a second.
In fact, he had a winning record against every player he played in FCR tournaments. On the other hand, Kios was being left behind, the gap between them increasing, and their set record less competitive than ever.
Yeah,
July
somebody was getting beat
2015,
on.
Lunary was the best player in the world, the second player to ever receive the classification of God of the game. And throughout that summer, we saw Lunary enter less and less tournaments. The ones he did enter, though, he would win. However, for Lunary, being the best wasn't quite what he hoped.
The pressure of being the best is something like a lot of people don't realize, because at some point, winning is just expected of you. Losing feels super bad, and winning doesn't feel as great because you're supposed to win.
That's one thing Zero did talk about. When Zero did talk about, he said like it's this kind of effect on people where it's like if you win, you're supposed to win. If you lose, it's like nigga, you were supposed to win. Who gives a fuck?
And then you have also people who just want you to lose because they're like so tired of you winning everything.
In August of 2015, he announced his retirement from the game. Only 7 months into his career, Lunary was going to quit competitive Super Smash Flash. He listed a variety of reasons for why, but the primary reason was to focus on competing in Super Smash Bros. Melee.
The primary reason was my fucking hands hurt. That's what it should have been.
A game he was deeply passionate about.
I deemed that Melee was more important to me, so in 2015, I just said, yeah, I'm gonna retire.
This announcement was devastating to the community.
What? They straight up called him a thought?
Many players, including his rival Kios, were sad to see him go. However, Lunary announced he would enter one final tournament, Smash Island 15. It was the last chance for the community to take down Lunary, including for Kios.
God damn. That back should never happen. What was that, Dick Kong?
Including Team. It was the last chance for the community to take down Lunary,
you know what?
including
Meta Knight has
Kios.
terrible air mobility. Nair? Oh, I think this was poke out Nair, like the Nair where he did his swords like that. That is one thing about VSS that sucks. If the other player grabbed the ledge, you kind of just couldn't play the game. Even to this day, if another player grabs the ledge while you're off stage, you just automatically die. It's kind of unfair. I'm not gonna lie.
Kyle's right now. Is it real?
Yep.
That's it. It's done. It's over. Literally 3-0 over Kyos.
You got a 30.
I could understand how Kios would feel. He didn't even get to beat his rival the last time they played, so it kind of it was a little bit of the end of an era.
And with Lunary's final victory over Kios, winning Smash Island 15, the community was left to pick up the scraps, and Kios reclaimed the vacant #1 spot. It was still unargued, though, that Lunary was the best player of 2015.
Like, subscribe, share. Hit him with the transition, even though it didn't. Nope. We're gonna get it to work, and it's still not working for me. Whatever. With that being said, peace out, y'all. Don't forget to eat the booty like a bunny. Like, subscribe, share. Okay, bye.